All right, this is a tutorial to help you with your algebra proofs assignment. Number 1, given that 3x plus 12 equals 8x minus 18, prove that x equals 6. As you can see on the left column, it's all worked out for us. Our task is to write down the reason for each step. So step 1, we talked about in class, is always what is given. So let's write that. Step 2, you went from 3x equals 8x to have 5x. So in order to go from 3 and 8 to 5, you had to subtract on both sides. So the subtraction property of equality was used. And then to go from step 2 to step 3, I noticed I no longer have 12 and 18 anymore, but I have 30. And in order to get 30 from 12 and 18, you have to add. So you use the addition property of equality. Now I have 30 is equal to 5x. So I would divide both sides by 5. So I would use the division property to get 6 is equal to x. And if I want it to be read as 6 equals x, I would have to use the symmetric property. Not too bad. Now the next problem I'll help you with, it doesn't list the amount of statements you have to use or the amount of reasons. So that means that the choice is up to you. Just make sure it's consistent throughout. So if you have 5 statements, you should have 5 reasons. So the first statement always is what is given. So we're given negative 6a minus 15 equals negative 95. And again, that's what's given. Make sure you number your reasons with your statements as well. Then I have a lot of options. Let me make it a capital A so it won't stand out too much or look like a 9. Why does it keep going back to big or thick lines? All right. So the next thing I would do is I would move the 5. I don't know why I wrote 15. Let's move the 5 to the other side. By using the addition property. So I would add 5 to both sides. And after I add 5, it would end up being negative 6a equals negative 90. And again, this is the addition property. And now I would divide both sides by negative 6. And end up with a equals 15. Because you use the division property of equality. And that's all this one took, was 3 simple steps. Oh, excuse me. Alrighty. Number 5 wanted you to use the law of detachment. If you are sick, then you must go to the doctor. And then we're told Jasleen is sick. So what can we conclude from this? We can conclude, using the law of detachment, that Jasleen must go to the doctor. The reason we can conclude that is because it follows the law of detachment, which says if P, then Q, given P, because Jasleen is sick is referring back to the original hypothesis. So this conclusion should refer back to the original conclusion, just more specific. Number 8, angle Q and angle T are complementary angles. The measure of angle Q equals 5x plus 11 degrees. The measure of angle T equals 2x plus 16 degrees. Solve for x and find the measure of angle Q. So the first thing I would do is set up an equation. Because it says that they are complementary, that means they should add up to 90 degrees. So the measure of angle Q plus the measure of angle T should equal 90. Well, knowing that fact, I can now say 5x plus 11 plus 2x plus 16 should equal 90. And now we can solve for x this way. First combine my 5x and my 2x, and I'll get 7x. Then I would combine my 11 and my 16 and get a positive 27 and bring down my equals 90. Now I would subtract 27 from both sides. 7x will equal 63. And now divide both sides by 7. So x would equal 9. All right, that's step 1. Find x. Now we're told we have to find the measure of angle Q. Well, we know that angle Q is equal to 5 times x plus 11. Well, we know what x is now. That's 5 times 9 plus 11. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 11 would give us 56. So the measure of angle Q is 56 degrees. And this concludes your tutorial for your algebra proofs assignment.